Hello, my name is Elizabeth File, and I will be teaching you how to create a clay figure using only armatures, wires, and some paint. First off, start with a simple sketch. It doesn't have to be good, just guidelines to make sure you know what you're doing. Now it is time to build the armature. The armature is a wire-based structure that goes under the clay and remains there even when it is baked and painted. Make sure to use wire pliers and scissors, and be careful whenever you're sculpting this, because this could poke out and either A, ruin your sculpture, or B, cut your hands or bruise you. Now before you start sculpting, make sure you wear the proper attire. I would recommend wearing a sleeveless shirt or shirts that have sleeves tied back, because if the fabric were to get in the clay, it could mess up the texture or mess up your clothing depending on which type of clay you use. Make sure all your hair is tied back because you don't want clay in your hair, and you don't want to get your hair stuck in the clay because that stuff will not come out. Make sure that if you're more of the neat type, you need to wear gloves or maybe even just wash your hands every now and then, because clay is very sticky, and that if you don't wash your hands and you go touch something, you could get a different texture in the clay, and it is very hard to get out of unless you paint over it multiple times. As you put the finishing touches on the sculpture, make sure that every area is smoothed out and that you have no wires or sticks poking out. Make sure the texture also does not contain any dirt, dust, or even, broken Illuminati symbols in it. Always good to buff out the sculpture before you put it in the oven, because the oven will unfortunately not melt off the clay and smooth it out. Now it is time to bake our clay. Pretty self-explanatory here, I'm not gonna lie. If you decide to paint your sculpture, make sure you use clay-based paint or acrylics. If you use oil paint, it'll never dry, and you'll just track it everywhere. Make sure to paint with very light layers, because if you use too thick of paint, the paint will not dry like oil. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make a clay sculpture out of an armature and painting it. But wait, did you see that? you.